Hey everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be using the Edge Pro Professional to fix the tip on a broken Santoku knife. And so stay tuned and watch how we put this thing back together. Okay, let's get into it. This video is not going to be very long. I'm going to fast forward through a lot of the steps. And it's really more about fixing a tip rather than sharpening. But what we have is the Edge Pro Professional. I'm going to be using the aluminum oxide Edge Pro stones. And here we have the knife. And so as you can see, the tip of it has been chipped off. And it's definitely got years of use on it. And so my friend who gave this knife to me here recently, she said this was, one of her favorite knives. But she hasn't been able to use it because it is broken, and so we want to see if we can restore that tip. Notice there was a little bit of corrosion right there on the knife itself. We're also going to see if we can fix that up. And so basically, there's two ways to fix a chipped or broken tip. Way number one requires a belt sander, and way number two requires either a whetstone or a guided sharpening system. And so it depends on what you have to work with. The first method is simply shortening the blade itself. And this would be the first method. As you can see, you're removing quite a bit of metal, you're shortening the blade, and you're basically just taking that top section off. The broken section you're removing, and you're going to probably do that with a belt sander. The second method, this is the method we're going to do here, is we're going to increase the belly of the knife just slightly to where the curve is very gradual and then incorporates that broken chipped piece. So we're just going to remove a tiny bit of metal, which is going to change the profile of the knife, but not too much. So we don't want to radically change it. We just want to make a very gradual change. And so right now we're just going to tape up our knife, draw the same diagram on the other side, and then go ahead and get to work. And what we're going to do with the start on this one is we're going to get a DMT extra coarse stone. I'm going to set my angle at about 21 degrees, and I'm going to start working it out. Now, I'm going to fast forward through some of this here in a second, but you get the idea. We're putting a little bit of pressure, nice and easy, and I'm just watching the curvature of the knife, making sure that I'm not too aggressive in making that curve happen. And so this is stainless steel, and the metal is quite soft, and so this particular plate is removing the metal very quickly. We only had to do, I want to say, 6 passes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 passes. 3 on each side, and we'd already gotten our edge back. So you can take a look at it here in a second. Now, if you're using a harder Japanese steel, then it's going to certainly take a lot longer. Get ready for a session. But you can see right there, our edge is back. I'm going to do 1 or 2 passes on the entire blade itself just to get the edge, get that bevel sort of redefined. We're going to reprofile this knife. It's been a long time since it's been sharpened. And at this point, we're just going to sharpen the knife. So we have our point. The profile of the knife still looks great. It's not too aggressive. The curve isn't too dramatic. And so right now we're just making a couple passes with that same stone. Nothing too nuts. I don't want to get that bird just yet. So I'm going to stop right before. I'm going to stop right before I get to that burr, and I'm going to go ahead and switch to the aluminum oxide. And so what we're doing is, instead of going with some of the real exotic stones that we have, I wanted to stick with the Edge Pro stones. We had a couple of viewers ask, all they had was Edge Pro stones, and is it capable to do everything to a knife that you want with the Edge Pro stone? Well, the short answer is absolutely yes. Some of the other stones offer incredible benefits, but you're going to see that we're going to get extraordinary results using the aluminum oxide Edge Pro stone. So this is the 220. Stone. So we skipped the first one. We're going to go bump into the 220, and as you can see, I'm just making sure that it's nice and wet before we start. And so what I love about the Edge Pro is the precision that comes from having a guided sharpening system. if you're familiar with whetstones, you know that you've got a lot of control, but you don't have a lot of precision. And this thing holds an angle, it keeps that angle, and it allows you to really work pretty efficiently. Just make sure your strokes are long, nice and slow, and consistent. You know, make sure that the pressure that you put on the stone itself is consistent on every stroke. Sometimes that takes a little bit of practice. All right, so as you can see here, we're fast forwarding this. This is just a simple sharpening session at this point. We're moving up to the 600 stone, and basically after that diamond plate, that 220 hit that burr really quick. At this point, we're going to make probably two to four passes with the 600 stone on each side. Once you achieve your burr, you don't have to worry about continually trying to feel it. Although, you know what, I like that cloth that I have. It's a microfiber cloth, and I use it to wipe my blade with. But you'll notice every once in a while I'll slide my blade across it, and that microfiber really, really catches the burr. And so without having to feel it, you can get a lot of feedback from the knife itself. And it'll tell you, you know, hey, there's an area that you need to work on or whatever, and then you can kind of pin it out. And so we're going to go ahead and move up to our last stone. Last stone is going to be the 1000. This whole session, I want to say probably took me about 40 minutes, 30 minutes maybe. And I think a good portion of it was me trying to remove the the adhesive from the tape on the knife itself, just because this particular tape, for some reason today, left a lot of adhesive. But you can see, nice and easy, nice and slow. I'm putting pressure on the forward stroke, and the backstroke is very light. Backstroke is normally just the weight of the bar itself. And now we're finished. And so, as you can see, there was a little bit of rust on the knife itself, and we're going to go ahead and erase that, basically. This is a cool eraser. It's called a sabitohru, and all you do is you just wet it a tiny little bit. This particular one is the medium. They have a medium and a fine, and it literally just it polishes off your rust. And so, very handy tool to have. It's also an exceptional wet stone cleaner, although it's not labeled for that, but it's a great wet stone cleaner. So I use it to clean some of my shaptons and so on and so forth. And so here's our end result. This is what the knife ended up looking like. As you can see, we've got a much more defined edge. We put a very robust 21-degree angle on it. The belly's not too large, and I think overall the knife design pretty much stayed the same, with just a short little tiny piece taken off at the end. And so very happy with the way that this knife turned out. I think our customer is going to be very pleased. I'm happy with how sharp it is. It looks great. It's still got a little bit of toothiness to it, and it's got a nice little polish. So overall, job well done. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, by all means, leave them in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe. We are a growing channel, and we have got an incredible assortment of videos on the horizon. So a very eclectic group of videos that I think you're going to enjoy. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'll see you in the kitchen.